Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson from Creative Guitar Studio. Thanks for tuning in to another guitar lesson. This week I had a question sent to me from Nick out in West Hills, California. He wrote in saying, what I need is some help with composing simple sounding guitar leads like the kind Green Day plays in their song 21 Guns. I'm 14 years old and this kind of guitar playing is my favorite thing right now. Can you make a lesson about the simple soloing that punk rock guitar players do? I have a band with my friends, and now that school is finished, we plan on jamming all summer long. You're my favorite internet guitar teacher. I hope you read this email. Thanks, from Nick. Well, I did read it, and I am making a video for you, so thanks for writing in, Nick. You know, punk rock guitar is certainly a style where beginner rock players can quite rapidly gain a good deal of skill quickly enough to get jamming with a band. But lead playing, and especially composing lead parts, can remain a mystery if the scales and positions for notes inside of the key that you're in are still an unknown concept. So in this lesson, we'll take a look at a few easy ways simple punk rock lead lines can be composed and placed into songs of this style. So let's hit the guitar fingerboard and run down a few examples of exactly how to do this. When it comes down to the punk rock solos and lead parts, there are three main areas to be aware of. The first is to scope out the key that you're working in. Now, this is unfortunately going to take some knowledge of music theory, which would involve some scale awareness, including a basic understanding of major and minor scales. So, to get you going on simple major and minor scale shapes on the neck, I'd like you to turn to example number 1 in your handout, and you can get that off of my website at andrewwasson.com. And in this example, we have a D major sound that's coming off 3rd string there. And in example number 2, off the same root on 3rd string, we have a minor scale layout. And since the majority of the punk rock solos occur on the upper 3 string sets, you'll want to take a look at understanding several positions. And if you're not sure whether you should use major or minor scale patterns, there's no need to worry. Your ear will be the judge. If you use the wrong one, it will quickly sound out of place. Also, when it comes to finding the correct root of the scale, that really isn't all that difficult either. Basically, the root of the very first chord of the rhythm guitar part, let's say if you have a D power chord, it's very likely that that is probably the root of the key. And you can test your major and your minor scales over it to see which one is accurate. Now, if it isn't the first chord, it could very well be the last chord of the progression that you have for the rhythm guitar part. Often chord progressions resolve to the root. And, of course, on the off chance that neither of those work for you, then you can try roots of the other chords in the progression until you discover one that does work for you. And when it comes to moving along the neck, use your ear off of the different scales. So if you're doing minor, and move it along the neck into different locations. Eventually you'll scope out the whole fingerboard. Now the second area to focus on is the rhythm. And this is very straightforward because most of these guitar leads have a consistent 8th note feel to them. Sometimes you'll have an odd quarter note or 16th note thrown in, but in general, overall, we find nearly 90% of the lead feel in this style is given to the 8th note duration. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that feel, I have it in the handout as example number 3. I'm just going to grab a metronome here and pop on a metronome click track for us. I'm going to play down the example at 7th fret of 3rd string. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want a little bit more work on rhythms, you can check out my Rhythm Duration Bootcamp program that I put together. It'll really bust your chops on rhythmic feel. Now, all right, let's move over to the third idea that I need to cover for leads in this style, and it is the use of simple embellishments. So you will have things like slides, hammer-ons, pull-offs, and also double stops. Now, the slides can be used to connect locations and even link phrases on the guitar neck, and the same can also be said for hammer-ons and pull-offs as well. But let's head over to examples number 4, 5, and 6 on handout, and I think with the example number 4, it's basically just looking at slides overall. So we have a 6th fret, 2nd string note. And you can hear it slide up to 8, and then we cross strings and slide 6 to 5 on 1st string. We head back again. And we have that backward slide that occurs on 3rd string. So that's example number 4. In example number 5, we have some hammer-ons. So we'll go upwards from 6th fret to 8, and then back down to 5 to 6. And then we're going to head from 5th fret and go upwards and then cross strings. So here's the whole idea. Now, in example number 6, you may recognize this from the outset of the video. I played it at the end of the run of the solo part for that. And it's an ascending string pull-off idea, and this kind of classic open string pull-off phrase is very predominant in this style, and I think this idea is so common that you almost pretty much definitely have to try it at some point, and even when one of your songs, trying to incorporate it as an idea. But here it is, separated out as example number 6 in the handout here. And we're just heading up the neck from 5th fret, doing pull-offs into the open 3rd string. And we're resolving to a C note on 2nd string, 13th fret. So this type of idea is excellent. I think that you'll probably notice it in a bunch of tunes. Now let's head over next to double stops. They're fairly common embellishments used with leads and background guitar parts in this particular style. And there are several double stop shapes that you can try to use. Let's look at example number 7 in the handout. We have several double stop shapes in this example here. So we're starting off on the top 2 strings on frets 6 and 5 of 2nd to 1st strings. We have 3 hits there, and we go to a bar that's going to take care of the 2 5th frets on the top 2 strings. Then we're going to head over to a new interval. The first interval, by the way, was major, and it went to a perfect 4th. Then we're going to go to minor, back down to that major interval. Then we're going to cross strings, and we're going to head to a D note and an F, which is a minor interval. And then we're going to go over to a C and an E, which is a major interval. It's a bar across 3rd and 2nd strings at 5th fret. Back to that minor interval off D, and then we're going to head over to 4th and 3rd strings for the 2 5th frets there of G going to C, which is a perfect 4th. So the whole melody goes like this. There's lots of different kinds of double stop shapes to try. You have to realize too that the shape changes slightly when you cross between the 3rd string to the 2nd string, because we have a tuning difference there on the guitar. The majority of the strings are tuned across going in perfect 4ths, but then we have a major 3rd interval between 3rd to 2nd. So some of these double stop 2-note chord shapes, they change when you cross between those strings. So essentially you have to use your ear to decide which double stops will work the best in your lead part if you're composing something. And of course, if you're still learning about music theory and how to apply intervals, you'll have to do a little bit of study and of course get some of these committed to memory and understand how they work well. I should also mention that there's a good song to look at by Green Day. We were talking about Green Day at the outset with Nick's question there. It's called Wake Me Up When September Ends, and they do use some double stop ideas in that particular song. So anyway, that's pretty much the wrap up all these ideas. You got some stuff to practice there, but I guarantee you if you get to work on this information, it will really pay off. So this idea of either simple soloing or playing any type of simple lead over punk rock style progressions is excellent for taking your punk rock guitar parts up to the next level in this style. Overall, it's a good style of music for beginner players because of the focus on the relatively easy to play power chords in the rhythm department, and because we find very straightforward guitar soloing concepts applied to the leads. Also, if you're a teenager jamming with your buddies all summer long in a style of music that's extremely popular with the crowd in your age group, you never know, you might also land yourself your first gig this summer as well. So thanks for watching. Have fun jamming on this stuff. You can download the handout and MP3 jam track for this lesson over at my website at andrewwasson.com, and you can follow me on Twitter, through Facebook, and on my other Guitar Blog YouTube channel, as well as on my weekly podcast that comes out every Monday. The links are all in the description box below for you. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.